Hello, my name is Vikas Pota. The reason why we're organizing this global showcase for World Education Week is we believe that schools have incredible expertise in making sure that learning outcomes improve. Given the state of the world, we want to see the expertise from this particular school being replicated in schools all over our planet so that the world becomes better for everyone. That is why I congratulate this school for what it does and hope that those listening can take away conclusions as to how they should actually approach their own improvement journeys. Thank you all for participating, and I look forward to seeing you in many of the other events this coming week. And I also want to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors for supporting this incredible work, without whom we couldn't have put together this global showcase. Thank you, and I wish you well for this event.
Fast-paced social, economic, and technology-driven change is redefining our world. And having a broad range of skills, such as creativity and problem-solving, has become far more important than being able to memorize information. To redefine how our children learn, and to empower them for the future, parents, teachers, and policymakers must stop overlooking a powerful part of the solution: learning through play. Play is the rocket fuel of child development, and there is a growing body of evidence to support that play is fundamental for children's positive growth and well-being over time. It is also an essential way to foster the skills required to thrive in today's world. The LEGO Foundation aims to build a future in which learning through play empowers children to become creative, engaged, lifelong learners. To do so, we work with a range of partners around the world to change the hearts and minds of all of those who influence children's lives through our programs, research, and advocacy, so they can all embrace the transformative power of play. Examples of what we do include making sure that caregivers, practitioners, and policymakers understand the importance of play, investigating, testing, and scaling new ways to bring play-based learning into homes and schools, using play to help millions of the world's most vulnerable children cope with adverse childhood experiences and toxic stress, or conducting research with some of the world's leading research institutions. Please visit our website and follow us on social media to learn more.
Language connects us all. It's how friendships are formed, ideas are shared, and lessons are learned. Language is how we find understanding and express love. It's how we communicate our successes, both big and small. It lays the groundwork for learning and growth. And for an increasingly diverse student population, it can be the key to achievement in school and beyond. That's why Rosetta Stone Education is dedicated to language and literacy. We offer solutions designed to support teachers and their emergent bilingual students, recognizing and celebrating the knowledge, culture, and languages they bring to our classrooms. Our products are founded on the adaptive blended learning model for individual needs, continuous progress monitoring for better learning outcomes, and culturally responsive pedagogies for more inclusive classrooms. With solutions aligned with proficiency standards, we support language learning while exploring academic subject areas, paving the way to better outcomes. Because for all of us, language is everything.
Dear T4 community, We talk a lot about teachers these days, but we rarely listen to them. Therefore, I am truly excited to join the T4 World Education Week to hear from teachers and school leaders all over the world how we can impact learning together. I'm particularly looking forward to the global showcase. 100 schools sharing their expertise and best practices, I believe, will be a huge motivation for other schools around the globe. I'm equally impressed by the T4 Solutions Challenge, its finalists and their solutions to real-world issues in education. This gives me hope that we can, together, turn around education globally. The Jacobs Foundation is a proud supporter of the T4 World Education Week because we share a vision to reimagine learning and education by bringing together the brightest people who understand how children learn. Let's do this together.
Hello everyone, my name is Vural Erkeç and I'm the Academic Director of the Turkish American Association. First of all, I would like to thank each and every one of you for being here with us today and state that we are proud to be a part of the World Week of Education. Before we actually begin, I would like to remind you that there is a 20-second delay during live broadcast, and this means that you may have to wait up to 20 seconds between intervals. Now, I would like to invite you to watch the introductory video of Cinnah Preschool. Hello again. The Turkish American Association is a rooted and prestigious non-governmental organization established in 1951 upon bilateral agreements between Turkey and the United States of America. Celebrating its 69th anniversary in 2020, TAA has provided high-quality language courses and cultural programs to many Turkish students who are now leaders in the fields of state, business, and culture. Cinnah Preschool Cinnah is the official preschool of the Turkish American Association. The language of instruction within the preschool is English. One of the main missions of Cinnah Preschool Cinnah is to enable preschoolers to use English actively in expressing themselves and communicating with others. To support children having a correct life energy, Cinnah Preschool Cinnah also focuses on various skills such as socializing, sharing, collaborating, respecting, taking responsibility, mastering courtesy and rules of etiquette, elocution, posture, playing a musical instrument, and has also developed a curriculum catering for various needs of children in accordance with 21st century skills. In accordance with the experience we have gained since 1951, our preschool program is based on creating an educational environment in which our children discover their own skills through a program that enables timely observation and evaluation through a rich variety of materials that encourages the free choice of children according to their interests and creativity. Now, the next slide is about why we wanted to be a part of World Week of Education. Cinnah Preschool Cinnah believes in collaborative and collective improvement and is always willing to share its experiences. As educators in early childhood education, we want to share our effective practices with all the children of the world. As a tool to change the world for better, education becomes stronger when we care about each other. Therefore, it is of utmost importance that we all share effective educational practices for the best interest of any given child. So, we believe that higher and better standards in education are possible if all the educators of the world form a connection that helps each other share ideas and effective educational practices. Due to these reasons, we wanted to be among 100 schools and a part of World Week of Education to demonstrate our practices related to the workshop system and social-emotional learning. As Cinnah Preschool, we are very excited and extremely proud to be here and share our educational practices. When we look at the next part, what is the workshop system that we use? The workshop is a space for children's creative experimentation and exploration. It is also described as a small educational area where children can actively participate in different activities. In preschools, the workshop is a creative studio for young children's imagination, expression, and experimentation that actively strives to encourage dynamic learning processes. Our workshop system is based on the integration of diverse educational approaches. These approaches have been evaluated by our education consultants and trainers who are experts in their field. The strong sides of these approaches have been integrated into the realities of Turkey, and the Cinnah Preschool Cinnah education philosophy has been developed for the workshop system. In the workshop system, children's learning is based on their interests. They act as co-constructors of their learning in different workshops. In other words, dynamic workshop environments and a variety of workshop materials help young children to effectively benefit from interest-based learning. What are the benefits of the workshop system then? First, Cinnah Preschool Cinnah implements the workshop system to support creativity, expression, and exploration skills of children in the early childhood education area. Through this approach, children learn through experiences of touching, moving, listening, and observing because workshop environments provide a variety of developmentally appropriate materials. Thus, the environment becomes a third teacher in addition to the educators and families. Diverse studies demonstrate that the average attention span of young children is usually less than 15 minutes. The workshop system helps children to refocus since children move among diverse workshops within the specific periods that are determined according to their age and developmental levels. Through this practice, the attention span of children is improved. Through the agency of diverse workshops that were structured according to interest and developmental milestones of children, children can easily focus on what is learned through the process, and the workshop system provides a range of experiences that are challenging but achievable. The workshop system also provides dynamic learning environments and materials, as well as supporting children to broaden their horizons and thinking from diverse perspectives. Now, I would like to leave the stage to our school principal, Senan Özdemir.
Hello everyone. Thank you, Mr. Erkeç. It's a pleasure to be a part of that conference and have the same excitement and experience with 100 schools, lots of countries at the same time. We all have to provide children more healthy and hygienic environment because of coronavirus as schools. Let's look what Tat Preschool is doing for that. Besides daily cleaning routine of the preschool, daily disinfection and cleaning with steamy hoover are added. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Tat Preschool Cinnah provided separate mats and cushions for each child in the school. Children participate in various activities on these mats and cushions, which ensures social distancing. Preschool's education consultants reorganized daily schedule, which is referred as the rotation plan, demonstrating periods for each workshop in the school. New rotation is planned for 20 minutes for indoor spaces and 40 minutes for outdoor spaces. Guidance, since fresh air is considered as a barrier for COVID-19. Tat Preschool Cinnah is surrounded by 3 big gardens, which have 5 different surface configurations, such as sands, grass, soil, pebbles, and wooden. Tat Preschool Cinnah uses this advantage by creating lots of outdoor activities in COVID-19 period. Besides changing the physical environment and daily schedules, we also prepared learning activities to emphasize and teach students the importance of social distancing and personal hygiene. Furthermore, we designed posters related to these topics and put these posters upon walls according to the level of children to continuously remind them of social distancing and personal hygiene. And we are coming to another point, that social emotional learning, and why Tat Preschool Cinnah says social emotional learning matters. Kindergartens are actual preventive care services where children's physical, social, emotional, and psychological developments followed by professionals. While preschools work on all these dimensions in early childhood, they can prevent children from many disorders which they may live in their adulthood. Social and emotional learning is the process through which children understand and manage emotions, set and achieve positive goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain positive relationships, and make responsible decisions. Social emotional learning improves 5 key skills in children, as self-awareness to recognize emotions, thoughts and behaviors, self-managing to regulate them, social awareness to empathize, relationship skills to maintain healthy relations, and responsible decision-making to make constructive and respectful choices. Tat Preschool educational philosophy shed light on the curriculum plan on developing children's social emotional learning. Tat Preschool's curriculum aims at personal, social, and emotional development, enables children to understand universal moral skills, and helps them to practice problem-solving skills. The reason why Tat Preschool Cinnah gives emphasis on circle time is to gain children's skills of self-awareness, empathy, and managing their emotions. Tat Preschool Cinnah encourages children to be silent, listen, and reflect them on their experiences and the world around them. Using mindfulness and centering oneself in the present, like in the circle time, children learn to become more self-aware and comfortable with their own thoughts and feelings, and use all these as a means to develop imagination and curiosity. So Tat Preschool Cinnah aims to help children learn more about themselves. When you know more about yourself, you will be more socially and emotionally improved. And how does Tat Preschool Cinnah evaluate social emotional learning? Cinnah Preschool Cinnah observes the social emotional learning of children through evaluation tools developed by education consultants and trainers who are experts in their fields. Cinnah Preschool Cinnah have a form in which teachers use smileys to indicate the social and emotional developmental levels of children, and another form has been developed to record observation notes to social emotional learning. Teachers apply this form in the middle and at the end of each year. So teachers have the chance to follow and compare each child's improvement level. In Cinnah Preschool Cinnah, teachers keep their records in special folders that they place in children's portfolios. These records are shared with families to inform them of their children's progress related to development and learning in social and emotional areas. And also the 100-day party also provides us with the opportunity to share 100-day projects of each group with each other, so children learn from each other. And diverse 100-day projects helping development of children's skills and abilities in the social emotional learning area. Cinnah Preschool's exemplary experiences related to social emotional learning is, as Cinnah Preschool Cinnah, we observed and experienced how our social emotional learning practices affected children in our school. Because of limited presentation time, we just want to share some example experiences from our circle time practices instead of sharing all the experiences and observations. Firstly, and perhaps most importantly, we observed and experienced that children learn about being aware and express their various kinds of emotions and feelings. During these learning and development processes, our teachers mentored children to their positive ways of expressions of feelings and emotions. For instance, instead of saying, "I do not like you," when you have a problem with a peer, you can say, "I'm sad because," is a key sentence from our mentoring experiences. And we also observed and experienced how planning and reflecting the day through circle times help children to develop socially and emotionally. Through giving equal chances to children to participate in decision making and evaluation of the day during circle time, we observed improvement of social emotional skills such as expression, confidence, problem solving, and so on. These processes also help children learn about democracy and democratic participation in education. These are some anecdotes, or examples from our experiences that I'm sharing with you now, that our teacher gives importance to our choices. Our teacher cares about us. I shouldn't miss circle time because I'm gonna tell you what I experienced yesterday. Example sentences are children's. We want to share with you. And now I'm leaving the stage to Ms. Ayşenur Mumcuoğlu. She will mention you about what is circle time. Thank you all.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I'm so glad to be here presenting and sharing our experiences with you today. And I'm gonna be sharing the definition of circle time and some kinds of activities that we are implementing in Cinnah Preschool, as Ms. Cinnah said. And let's start with the definition. What is circle time that we are telling you? The circle time is the first structured activity of the day when teachers and children sit on the carpet to discuss and share or communicate. In this activity, children share their feelings, voice their views, and listen to each other. The reason why each individual sits in the circle in a carpet is to help each member of the circle have eye contact, communicate effectively, and be in the same level without hierarchy. And with these rules of circle, teachers and students develop warmer relationships. As a group approach, circle time aims to develop social, emotional, behavioral skills, and moral values. Each individual in the circle contributes to the process, and this improves their understanding of appreciation of differences and develops respect for different values. With the help of this opinion sharing time, isolation in class, anxiety to share beliefs or opinions reduces. When circle meetings are utilized regularly, children become more strengthened emotionally and they can handle social problems much easier. So as teachers, we are integrating social-emotional learning program into our circle time, and we firstly aim to support children who have difficulties in managing their emotions and behaviors at first. Then we aim to create a safe and supportive learning environment where each child can learn mindfulness, develop healthy decision-making skills, and establish healthy relationships. Our school's social-emotional learning program differs according to developmental needs and ages of children in our school. So we are giving very importance on developmentally appropriate practice. We conduct 2 circle times in a day, and the first one is morning circle time, and the second one is closing circle time. So I'm going to share some examples of circle time that we are implementing at school. The first one is calendar time. In our school, calendar time is composed of focusing children's attention on what day, which months, which seasons of the year they are in. The group designs or acquires a physically existing calendar like you see in the picture, and which they can change the days, examine the months, the season with. Now that is hard to grasp abstract concepts in those years. So we are giving them concrete examples. In addition, weather watchers, children who are responsible for the calendar, look out the classroom window and then talk about how the weather is in that day. This also enables them to take on responsibilities and share the duties during circle time. Let's look at another example. And the second one is taking the role. As you can see in the picture, this activity is performed to check who is absent and who is present on that day, and in order to create awareness about their friends as a part of that group. Our school uses a chart for roll calling in order to convey the message that each of you have a special place in our class, and you are an important part of the whole, for implying a feeling of communion while giving importance to children's emotional situations each day. And let's look at the third one. This is the day planning time. And during a segment on reviewing a schedule and rules, teacher and children lay out the plan for the day, and they have children review which workshops they will visit that day before they start engaging in activities. This block of activities serves a broadly orienting purpose, preparing children as individuals who are good time managers in their future life. As you can see in the picture, they are putting the numbers where they are going in that day. The first one is the math class, and the second one is going to art class, etc. They are planning their days. And the next one is reading time. Let's look at it. Yeah, as you can see in this picture, they are outside and they are doing circle time, and at the same time they are doing reading. As for developing language skills of children regarding their acquisition and interpretation of language, teachers and children organize reading time in a schedule. Children's ideas are taken into consideration while selecting the book. And they are saying that I'm gonna read this book today, the teacher, and we are letting them to do it. Sometimes children articulate the stories by reading the books while showing the picture of the book and asking questions about stories to their friends. This regular activity aims to help children develop self-expression skills as well as reading habits and letter awareness. And let's look at the other one. This is the sharing the materials. This type of activity involves sharing not only ideas but also books, puzzles, and toys with each other while going around the circle. Each day of the week is assigned as book sharing day, puzzle sharing day at the beginning of the semester with administrators and teachers and children together. And this process aims to help children to develop sharing skills and expose them to various kinds of materials by sharing with their friends. And as you can see in the picture, they are sharing their books. Let's look at the other one. And the next one is sharing emotions and experiences. As you can see in this picture, they are doing puppetry show, and they are articulating what they're feeling. They are making some dramatization with these puppets, and children pair up to talk about their emotions and feelings for the morning circle, as you can see in the picture. And let's look at the other one now. And this is the dancing time. And during dancing, and teachers guide children while singing one or more songs about academic contents. For example, alphabet song and non-academic content, welcome or good morning song, or behavior songs, which are keep your hands to yourself song, for example. And here they are playing a game with parachute while they are moving and playing and singing some musics. Songs or dancing are often introduced as a chance for children to take a break from focused instruction activities and burn off some energies. And here, the reflection of the day. And we are letting children to express themselves with various kinds of ways. And one of them is using art as self-expression. We are giving reflections of children with art activities. And we are saying that let's do some drawings about things that you have learned today, or something you liked or you disliked today. Or we are asking some questions like, which activities did you do today? And how was the day for you? What do you want to do tomorrow? We are making some conversations about it. And here is the end of my part, and I will be presenting, and now I'm giving the floor to Ms. Melike, who is an early childhood educator and has just completed her master's at Middle East Technical University and starting the doctorate program in the same school. And thank you all, and goodbye, Ms. Melike.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ayşenur. It's so nice to be here with you, be a part of World Education Week. Now, as Ms. Ayşenur said it, I will share some special practices of Cinnah Preschool Cinnah. First, let's start with Diary of Grape. So let me introduce you with Grape. Grape is just a toy animal. It is chosen and named by the group members who are children. Grape has a picture diary. You can see the photo, and this is the diary. Each weekend, one of the children takes Grape home and draws pictures related to weekend activities that they experience with Grape. On Mondays, children come back. They share this picture diary with other children in the group. As teachers encourage the usage of words related to emotions and feelings through questions like, how did you feel in this activity with Grape? As a role model who asks open-ended questions, teachers also encourage other children to ask questions, express their ideas, their emotions, feelings, and form effective communication. And this practice helps children improve a sense of belonging, so important, and group consciousness. Through the agency of this practice, children have chances to develop self-expression skills and self-confidence, as well as communication with other individuals. Families are also a part of this activity, as you can see, since they are asked to write the children's emotions and experiences in this diary. Let's continue with the second practice, which is Number Master. This practice is conducted with 4 and 5 years olds. Number Master is one of the 100-day projects at Cinnah Preschool, Cinnah. This practice was implemented during morning circle times. So, 100-day projects were used as a tool to support social emotional skills of children in the groups and celebrate the 100th day of the school with numbers. Every morning, children write the number of the day on a small paper, as you can see in the photo, and then they feed the number master with these numbers. Number master helps children develop a sense of belonging and group consciousness because it is considered as one of the group members. It also supports social and emotional skills related to empathy and being kind. Since teachers or educators use the number master as a puppet that interacts and communicates with children. For instance, the number master, it likes to hug, kiss, tickle, or use words of kindness like thank you, please, these words, while eating numbers during morning circle. Let's continue with spider web activity. This activity can be conducted with 5 and 6 years olds. You can see in the photo, children sit in a circle and then they start to throw a ball of yarn to peers that they choose. Before throwing, they complete the sentences. They say sentences like, I like my friend because, as educators, at this point, as educators, we encourage children to talk about their feelings during this practice. To illustrate, children construct a sentence like this. I like my friends. I love my friends because I feel very happy when I play with him. While this child is throwing the yarn. After completing the yarn circle, we begin to collect the yarn while constructing similar sentences. I can say that this practice is to support children in understanding and talking about emotions, as well as forming healthy relationship with peers. Another activity, traffic lights practice. Again, this activity can be conducted with 5 and 6 years old. The traffic light practice was conducted in terms of reflection of the day during closing circles. As Ms. Ayşenur said it, closing circles are significant to reflect the day. So you can use open-ended questions, you can use art practices, and maybe you can conduct this practice, which is traffic lights. For this practice, each traffic light, as you can see in the photo, represents a situation enabling children to reflect on the day. As teachers, as educators, we ask children, do we have any red, yellow, green lights today? Who would you like to share with us? This is the question. And red light means someone or something stops you during learning. During red lights, we don't talk about, we are not using names. Yellow light means you want to do something better for tomorrow. So you will work on it. For example, a child can say that I want to work on my fine motor skills for tomorrow. And the green light means you or someone did something really good today. During the green light, the child can use names. For example, a child can say that I'm so happy today. I'm feeling excited because my friends share her toy or say something nice. And lastly, I want to share learning materials that we use during circle times to support social emotional learning of children. You can see these are some of the learning materials. You can see the yarn ball, number monster, and some special books. We believe that sharing, doing reading activities is so significant. For example, silent storybooks, silent storybooks helps children stop, listen, and reflect on their experiences and the world around them. Another story is Shy Spaghetti and Excited Eggs. This storybook supports children to increase awareness about emotions and feelings, and also grasp the relation between emotion, feelings, and behaviors. Also, I want to say that these books are approved by American Psychologists Association. Now, thank you so much. Now we are turning back to Mr. Vural. He will summarize our event and our practical steps. Thank you so much.
So let's summarize what we talked about today. First of all, we talked about who Cinnah Preschool Cinnah is, why we wanted to be a part of this World Week of Education, what is or how we do our workshop system, and how we do social emotional learning within our schools. And apart from that, I would also like to talk about the 5 steps the 5 practical steps that we've been talking about. And in that sense, the first one, number 1, would be creating a social emotional learning project. By the way, please keep in mind that we will have a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. And then back to the 5 practical steps. Number 1 would be creating a social emotional learning project. Social emotional learning is highly significant to support formation of healthy personality in children to be component adults. Therefore, an early childhood education institute needs to learn how to design and implement social emotional learning plans to provide safe and supportive environment for children in early years. For this aim, educators can learn what social emotional learning is and how it affects the development and learning process of children in early years through learning ways to design a social learning implementation plan. Number 2 would be social emotional learning strategies to support children's learning and developmental process. Now, diverse studies in early childhood area demonstrate modern days conditions might affect social emotional learning negatively. More children are being trapped in homes because of reasons like playing video games and parental concerns related to safety, so children develop more antisocial personalities by the day. At this point, supporting social emotional learning of children is highly significant and the responsibility of educators. Schools can integrate strategies of social emotional learning into their curriculum to support children in terms of managing emotions, establishing healthy relationships, making responsible decisions, and learning mindfulness. Now, number 3 would be evaluation process for a social emotional project. Pedagogical documentation is an essential, integral working method in early childhood education. It supports planning, implementing, assessing, and developing early childhood education in many ways. It is an ongoing process which gives holistic knowledge about children and makes learning visible. Schools can benefit from pedagogical documentation as an evolutionary tool to evaluate the projects in the area of social emotional learning. We will share steps of pedagogical documentation within the concept of our project. Number 4, ways to fostering learning experiences in the workshop system. Preparing developmentally learning environments is not enough to support learning of young children. Therefore, early childhood teachers can learn that how a learning environment support or limit learning process of children in early years. So, educators can learn how to effectively manage learning processes in the workshop system. Schools can prepare diverse learning environments like the music workshop or science and nature workshops to address interests and developmental needs of young children. And the next one, number 5, would be ways to benefit from the workshop system during the COVID-19 pandemic. social physical distancing is extremely significant in these days because of the pandemic. Especially for kindergartens benefiting from the workshop system, this situation could be hard since children need to change workshops within structured time schedules. As adults, we are aware of this necessity, but this situation could be hard for children to understand and for educators to explain to children. Therefore, schools need to find diverse methods to explain and ensure social physical distancing in kindergartens. At this point, we would like to answer any questions you might have. So, I know there are some written questions that we would like to address, and other than that, if there are any new ones, we are more than happy to try and answer them. I will be going through the question and answer the questions that you've raised. The first one, thank you very much. There was a nice comment there. How will you ensure that each child is learning? Okay, fantastic, great question. How will we ensure that each child is learning? We have a unique assessment system where we are evaluating the performance of each student, and these are also observed and noted by our instructors at all workshops. So that's that. The next one is a request for the presentation. Yes, we will be more than happy to share these presentations. We have your email address. Thank you very much. And the next question we have here is it not difficult to maintain distance between such little kids when they are there at school now? I suppose this question is related to the COVID-19, and during the 5 practical steps, the last number 5 was how to benefit from the workshop system during the COVID-19 pandemic. Typically speaking, you would all agree with me that if we leave the students at their own during the pandemic, the chances are that they will be interacting rather closely, which would pose more threats to our children. So how we try to overcome this issue is we plan structured activities where we are in control of the seating of the students, the types of interaction that we request from them. For example, in terms of seating, we make sure that the social distancing between each student is more than enough to cater for the health reasons. So I assume that would answer your question. So again, it's a structured activity, so we do not leave everything to the children, just to make sure that we are protecting them from the pandemic. I'm moving on to further questions. I have the same question again. And how long do children spend time at school? Okay, Cinnah Preschool's education system is a full-time education system, so the students would be at school between 7 to 8 hours. And the workshops they enter will vary from maths and science to sports and all sorts of different activities. But literally speaking, at least 7 hours they would be spending at school with us. And the next question, I'm scrolling down. Judith from Thrilly, thank you, Judith. What do you mind if I do a little context of sharing? Yes, again, it's a related question. How have you modified activities that involve contact or sharing implements, such as sharing time, spiderweb, class pet, spiderweb, etc., due to COVID? Once again, I would have to give the same answer. We have structured each activity just to make sure that our students are not in contact. So they will not be in contact, and typically speaking, they do not even share the material. So they have their own material to work with, and we create our activities to make sure that social distancing is protected at all times. Because, thank you very much. Lovely comment there. A few of them, as a matter of fact. Thank you. And steps taken to improve extremely disturbed child. And how do you help a child who is facing Emotional issues. Okay. Well, I think the best move would be to give voice to our instructors, because I know for a fact that our instructors, Ayşenur and Melike, would be happy to answer these last two questions. Ayşenur, can you hear me? Melike, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Could you please repeat your last question for me?
Yes, sure. Steps taken to improve extremely disturbed child. So what are the steps that we take to improve extremely disturbed children? And how do you help a child who is facing emotional issues?
Yeah, we have an administrator who is a psychological. I'm hearing a voice. Can you please mute yourself? Yeah. Now, are you hearing me? We have an administrator in our school who is a psychological, and we are letting her to make some meetings with the child. We may have some these things in our school, and we are making some meetings with the parents, and we are getting some help from our administrator in this time. And I can give the voice to Ms. Cinnah in there, because it is the part of her. If you want, he can add something. If he doesn't want, I can continue with it. Ms. Melike, can you please unmute yourself?
Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, I get it now. Maybe I think it's so significant to give voices to this child. Maybe we can support him to talk about his or her emotions and understand him or her. Maybe I can continue after Ms. Cinnah. It will be so nice to listen her. Thank you, Ms. Cinnah.
Do you hear me? Yes. First of all, we are trying to understand what he or she feels actually, what's his or her emotions. Because in order to understand his or her emotions, we are listening them, first of all, and try to express their feelings, make them express their feelings first of all. Sometimes a little child cannot do that initially with his or her inner self. But we can make them active by using drama as a technique to express their emotions, feelings, and then we can use reading books, making group activities. At the end, they can express their emotions and feelings, while we can talk about their feelings, and then we can solve their problems. Then we can manage. We can teach them manage with their problems or problematic emotions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. Vural, could you please unmute yourself? Mr. Vural, we cannot hear you.
Okay, I'm just I am just checking whether we have any further questions, but at this point, I do not see any further questions. Some nice comments. Thank you very much. Well, then I would like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for listening to us, taking the time to listen to us, and also I would like to thank our instructors who have a significant effort in preparing this presentation and sharing their experiences with all of you. Thank you again. And if you have any questions that you would like the Turkish American Association to answer, please feel free to reach out to us at the Turkish American Association, and we will do our best to try and answer each and every question that you may have. Thanks again, and thank you for this opportunity. Bye-bye.